Okay. I gotta tell you, I think it's possible that last video came out weird. Some of these videos, I have the camera tilted the wrong way when I start, and then I try to fix it. And it has a little trouble figuring out what I want to do, what direction I want the camera to go. So I apologize for that. It's going to be a little tricky to kind of read and make sense of, but I will try to avoid that in the future. So we're going to wrap this up today. We're going to wrap this whole section up. So let's take a look. Socrates. He wants to understand writing. He's talking about the disadvantages of writing. Well, really, I'm sure you guys had to do papers like this in high school where you had to write the advantages and disadvantages of different kinds of things, right? Make a list, make a pro-con list, right? Here's a bunch, pick a subject. What are the advantages of legalizing drugs? What are the disadvantages of legalizing drugs? What are the advantages of legalizing prostitution? What are the disadvantages of legalizing prostitution, or whatever the fucking issue they're giving you to talk about is. But I'm sure you guys have had to do this before. You make a list. What's good about it? What's bad about it? That's what's happening with writing. The debate is what's good about writing? Well, the god who invented it says it's good for intelligence and memory. What's bad about writing? Well, the king who doesn't like it says that writing is bad for memory and bad for intelligence because it tricks you into knowing shit. To continue on this, Socrates continues what they've said. Notice that Socrates doesn't just repeat what they said. He adds something of his own. This is something you have to do in your papers. When you quote, you don't just agree with the quote. You got to add something of your own. So Socrates has been talking about this story from ancient Egypt, but he doesn't just repeat the story again. Some of my students, they just repeat it because they're trying to just eat up words. But the better way to do it is not to repeat the story, but rather to add something of your own. So what Socrates, when you get a quote, add something of your own. So what Socrates adds is he says, writing is like painting. Forgive me for a second, I have to go check something.